Hey, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about 5 different pin accessories that I use when using my pins or taking them outside of my house. A couple are cases and a couple are writing accessories, and be sure and stick around to the end because I also have a bonus accessory that I use for general travel that's pin agnostic but also helpful with pin activities as well. Let's take a look. Okay, the first case I'm talking about is one that I've had for I think about 8 years or so. This is the Nock Co Sinclair. It's a gray Cordura, got double zippers here, and it is actually a pin roll. So you can roll it out. There's the Nock Co. Now, Nock Co is no longer in business, is my understanding. They're somewhat affiliated with Rickshaw now, but I don't think this particular design is currently being made anymore, but there are some other cases you could look at from Rickshaw. But this holds 6 pins in the roll itself. You can put it with clips out or clips in. I normally put the clips in so that, they're protected a little bit more. When this rolls up, the clips they're gonna be touching fabric, but just as a little extra bit of protection. And then this pocket over here, there's still plenty of room for extra pins that you might not care if they get bumped around a little bit. Or when going to pin meetups, I'll put my glass dip nib in here that has a cap or like a testing wad, or sometimes my little fold out loop so that I have that with me if needed. So, this has been a constant companion. I used to do a lot of travel for work, and this would go with me flying a week a month with 6 or more pins in it. So that's the Nock Co Sinclair. Okay, up next, this is a case that I got from Mass Drop when it was still called Mass Drop, probably also 8 or 9 years ago. And this is a Manhattan Portage pin case. Now, I was looking online and this brand still exists, and they have a similar case called the Half Zip that unzips and has a little bit of a flap, but it looks like this model is also no longer made anymore. But it's, the construction on this thing will last for many, many more years. So this is also Cordura. It's got the actual branded Cordura. It's got, the trademark tag in there. It even has a little holographic thing I could have registered at some point apparently. But this has 5 slots in it. And then I will normally put another pin or 2 in the little valleys so that when you zip it up, they're not really hitting anything. There's enough room to sneak an extra pin or 2 in there. Now, this was my pocket case for quite a long time until fairly recently. So one complaint I've always had about this is the pockets are not actual size. So this one over here that has the Lamy Studio in it, that's about one of the only pins that will fit in there. I couldn't put the Opus 88. I think the Sailor and the 823 might fit, but they're really tight. So, that is one minor thing, and I'm sure each one of these was sewn slightly different. Like this pocket over here is almost too big, so the stitching on the slots was not exact, but, I've learned to adapt to it over time. Skinnier pins go over here, the bigger pins go over here. But this is a nice little pocket case. It is full zip, so it's fairly water resistant. Not that I've put that to the test, but this was my pocket case. So if I'm going somewhere and I wanted to have more than a single pin, I would put a couple of pins in here, and this will easily fit in a jeans pocket to take with you. But that's the Manhattan Portage full zip case. I assume would be the name if the current offering is the half zip. Okay, so up next is the Lochby pin case. Now this is my new current pocket case. It's a little bit smaller and fits in better, and it will hold larger pins. So this, you can see here, these are Opus 88, so very large pins, Lamy 2000, and then an Opus 88. This is a Oto roller ball that I was using in a video recently, so I still had that in there. And then my Platinum 3776. So this has 4 slots, and then like the other, you can kind of fit an extra pin or 2 in there that are protected so that they're not hitting anything. You can see that there. And then this also has a pocket on the outside here So you could put another pin on the outside. I've never carried it like that, but if going to a pin meetup or something like that where this is going to be in your bag and not a pocket, you could throw an extra pin or something like that in there. And then get this out so it doesn't fall. Oh, and then this back part has Velcro, and this is actually a pocket here. So the only thing I've really thought I could put in there maybe is like a little lens wipe pouch or something like that. But there's not much purpose for that Velcro unless you had something small, maybe a pencil sharpener. But it goes all the way up to this open part here, so that would be around the crease, but still kind of an odd pocket for Lochby to include on there. But overall, this has been a nice little pocket pin case. An Opus 88 demonstrator is about the tallest you could go in terms of a pin, because when it's down in the bottom, it will zip around it, but just barely. So it's, that kind of shows the size when that's in there. It will zip around the top because that has a little bit of stretch because of the fabric. So that's the Lochby pin case. Okay, now up next, this is a pin adjacent item, but I've been using this just about daily. This is the Good Made Better travel book weight. So this unfolds, it's just leather, and then I got I think these are the brass blocks, but they're just weights to hold pages down. Now I know that seems a little bit extra, but when I started our new journal, I'm using the Nock Co hardcover. The pages, when I was first using it, the spine would fold up. So this you can kind of put across the pages and hold them flat while you're writing, so that way you're not dealing with pages folding back over and on itself. So this has become an invaluable item when doing writing, especially when at like a coffee shop or something like that, where you might have limited desk space, so you're having to move the book around to have a good writing surface so it's comfortable. But this just folds up, so it takes a very little space, but it is heavy. And this did set off TSA when I was going to New York for Thanksgiving, so that's something to keep in mind. As soon as they saw it was a book weight, they were fine with that. It was next to the case of pins, so it kind of made sense. But I guess that TSA agent happened to know what a book weight was, so that was a plus. But, that's the Good Made Better travel book weight. Up next, this is just a little basic pin stand that a local maker in Columbia, Tennessee makes. I believe Tristar Studios is his name. But I got this at Butler Stationery a while back just to have a stand for on my desk. But I actually find myself throwing this in my bag at times, especially with some of the pins that, don't post, like the Opus 88s. I can easily just pull this out of my bag and set it there and set a pin on it. Let me actually grab that, and I can show what I'm talking about here. Let's grab this one. Okay, so if you have the pin uncapped, you can just set it on there if you need to pause to turn pages, or moving the book weight around, or taking a sip of your drink, and then get right back to writing without having to cap and uncap, especially on the pins that have quite a few turns. But it's also nice just on the desk, to have a pin where it's not going to roll off. It's kind of somewhat protected because I can set this off to the side and just have it sitting there while doing something else, and then easily grab the pen to write with it. So just a simple little thing. And then I like the little engraving on the bottom: sleep when you're dead, today we enjoy fountain pens. So there was a bunch of different little sayings. When I saw that one, that was really with the straw, that was like, okay, I should purchase that today. So the Tristar Pen Studios 2-pin pen stand. So before I get to the final bonus item, How do you carry your pens? Are you using cases similar to what I've shown today, or do you have a different method when you're taking your pens with you on the go? Drop a comment below and let me know how you are carrying around your pens when you're taking them outside of your house. Now let's get to this final bonus item. Okay, and the final item is not pen per se, it's definitely pen related, but I learned about this company and this bag actually through the Ink Dependence patron Discord. So this, to me, has become a pen adjacent item. This is called the CAP2, and it's a storage pouch for things like cables and whatnot, but this is the part that I love. When you unzip it, it sits on the desk, and let me try and hold it up this way. So it sits so you can leave stuff in there, take out what you need. So here's like a traveler's clip. You know, I'll keep my book weight in there. If I have my laptop with me, I can actually fit my trackball mouse in there to have. And then I keep phone chargers, screen wipes, you know, a USB-C adapter, power charger, and all that can stay in here. And then this pocket, you know, basic zip pocket, but when the pouch is closed, this zipper here lets you into that top pocket. So if you have a pen in there or a pen case, you know, the Manhattan Portage will fit in there if I didn't have the cables, and it would still zip. So you could have a pen case in there if you had like a single pen sleeve, that would fit in there really well. But this has been great when traveling, and you know, I'll take this when my wife and I on Saturdays will go to like a coffee shop and spend a little time writing or something like that, and I'll take this and just open it up and set it on the table, because then I can pull out whatever I need for the day, have it there when I'm done, put my clip back in there, put the book weight back in, close it up, and then it's ready to come home. And this actually sits on my actual, you know, desk that I use for work and daily use. So all those items, it becomes organizational. So it's not just a bag that you're loading up to go somewhere and you're unloading it when you get home. It's become a constant use bag. So this is the Evergoods, and this is I didn't mention, the yellow is a special edition color. So if you happen to like the yellow and black, go check out, I'll put a link in the description. Check out their option. I also have a coyote tan one that I got initially, which my wife is actually now using because she liked that color, and I really wanted the yellow when it was released. So the Evergoods CAP2. Okay, so that wraps up my top 5 pen cases and accessories that I find myself using when I have my pens outside of my house. Are you using similar accessories or cases? Be sure and leave that comment to let me know what you're doing. And if there's any accessories that you think I might want to look at that you found useful, drop those in the comments as well. If you're new, consider subscribing so that way you can see these videos as soon as they're released. Thanks for watching.